Hello, students, and welcome to lesson 2 of unit 6. We are talking about infinitives, and infinitives are to plus a verb, so to plus a verb. And I'm going to read to you the article on page 152. So if you could turn to that page now and read along with me and look for the infinitives that are in this article. Medical riches in the rainforests. The world's rainforests are of great interest to medical scientists. In those forests, scientists have found treatments for a wide range of conditions, from headaches to malaria. Researchers also hope to find cures for cancer there. According to the National Cancer Institute, 70% of plants that may be useful in cancer treatment grow only in rainforests. Only some of them have been studied so far. Scientists often depend on the knowledge of traditional healers. The scientists want the healers to show them where plants are growing in the rainforest. Gervasio Noceda, for example, is a well known healer in Paraguay. He is a shaman, and his knowledge of medicinal plants equals that of a medical library. When Noceda prepares to lead a group of researchers on a search for plants, he chants and prays. Perhaps he is hoping to establish a spiritual connection with the forest. When he is ready, the search begins. The researchers often ask him to find a plant root called suruvi. When suruvi is made into a tea, it is used to treat a variety of illnesses. With Noceda's help, some researchers have published a book on medicinal plants. It is a rich source of information that helps people to identify and study plants more easily. Scientists feel fortunate to have the benefit of the healer's knowledge. They need to work quickly, though. Deforestation is a serious problem, so it is urgent to identify, record, and analyze the plants of the rainforest before it is too late. Okay, so if I read too fast, you can go back and read again. But what I need you to do in the video now is to answer which ones of these statements are true. So you're going to check which ones of those are true. And then you're also going to write in the grammar for this lesson. So you need to stop the video now and do that. Okay, we are going to go on to page 154, and infinitives are, again, not the easiest thing, but I think they're helpful to learn when to use them. And so here I have, these are the different times that you're going to use an infinitive. So for example, I like to eat. To eat is the infinitive. It's not the main verb of the sentence. And so that's what can get tricky because it looks like a verb, eat. We know eat is a verb, but if you have to eat as the infinitive, which is like the base form of the verb, then that's not the verb of the sentence. So like is the verb, I is the subject, and then here, I like to eat chocolate cake. So to eat chocolate cake is also an infinitive with an object, so an infinitive phrase. In English, some of these verbs are excuse me, are followed by an infinitive, so it's helpful to know that if you're using some of these, and here number 2, they have a list that, so be aware of when you use these verbs that after it usually comes an infinitive, that's number 2, or number 3, an object plus an infinitive. And so that's the biggest thing to be aware of, is that some verbs in English make you use an infinitive after it. So I advise you, I encourage you to do something. I want to remind you to do something. I will teach you to do something. So always after those, you would use an infinitive. Okay, exercise 4 is going to be in your Google Forms doc. And then also on the next page, 155, you're going to put these words into the correct order in the Google form. And then the next 2 charts are just showing how sometimes you can use a gerund or an infinitive to mean the same thing. And so exercise 6 is practicing that. So if you say, I began exercising regularly last year, or I began to exercise regularly last year, those mean exactly the same thing. So again, the verbs that go before the verbs that go before them are important because they mean that you can use either a gerund or an infinitive. And so that's you're going to practice that for exercise 6. And then the next chart is when it changes. So if you use a gerund after the verb or if you use an infinitive after the verb, then it changes the meaning of the sentence. So for example, I'll never forget meeting you for the very first time is different from sorry, I forgot to meet you at the gym yesterday. Right? I'll never forget meeting you for the very first time. Oh, it was so memorable for me. You changed my life. So I will never forget meeting you. But that's different than, oh, I forgot our meeting. I didn't show up for tutoring. I forgot to meet you. So there are different times, depending on the verb, it can change the meaning of the sentence, right? If you can say, he stopped drinking coffee a year ago, that's different than he stopped to drink coffee, right? That means he stopped what he was doing. He started to drink coffee. But this means he stopped drinking coffee, it means he doesn't drink coffee at all. He's done. So that's the difference between the charts 6.5, that is when they have the same meaning, and chart 6.6, this chart is talking about when they do change. So we're getting into some of the tricky stuff now, but I want you to hang in there and finish that. So exercise 7 is going to be in there for you. So again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.